Hey, what's good, people? This is episode 96. That's Andre. That's Anna. Episode starts right now. So, for those of you guys listening to the audio and not the video, these two are on their way to Wapaka. They are taking their show on the road. A whole heads team of momentum. Pottstown Rumble, Andrei Belov. So, you and Eric Lucas won, huh?
We did.
Yeah, man. Well, of course, behind Coach of the Year, we got Anna.
But yeah,
So,
it was a big contribution from Anna. Definitely.
right. So I have a question from one of my friends because they don't play a lot of grass court out here, and they asked me what's like the most important thing when you play a grass tournament. Like it's at Pottstown Rumble, it's a big court. You know what I'm saying? It's side out, and I told them the serve is the most important thing because I think it's like at a certain level, it's so easy to side out, and particularly when you're in system, that getting teams out of system is when you want to that's when you want to put 100% effort in. I want your thoughts on that.
Well, I would actually prioritize a little differently. I think the mental strength and competitiveness should be number one for such tournament as Pottstown. Number two, I guess, would be a serve, and number three, pass. Pass is just as important as serve. If you play against somebody who gets served, you got pass.
Yeah, and the same thing. What's your order? What's your natural order of things?
You want to be really mentally strong, not let other players score many points in a row against you. And if they do, you have to side out and score as many points also against them. So some games, scoring was until 15, one game, but some games were like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Strong enough, you just break down at some point.
I agree. Yeah, it's yeah, man, it's tough. It is a mental game because it is side out, right? And some games, like you said, could last 15 minutes, and some games can last an hour and 15 minutes because it's side out. And that is, honestly, I think that's probably why, like, a lot of the players in their 30s, a lot of the older players who played before it became rally do so well in the Pottstown Rumble, So, yeah. So how fun was it playing with Eric Lucas? The dude's like a machine, right?
Well, we are a machine, a well-oiled machine. We play great together. It's insane.
Yeah.
The chemistry really works somehow. It's like I don't really fully understand that, but we pump it up like crazy. I noticed, and I told Anna. We were practicing, and it's like sometimes he says something to me, and when I hear that, it's particularly anything about my serve. I'm very sensitive. Don't tell me anything about my serve. let me do my serve on my own. And if somebody tells me something about my serve, in 99% cases, it'll piss me off, and I would just tell them, okay, just let me do my thing. You focus on your own thing. So, and I was like looking, I'm actually not pissed. I don't know why. It's like
It just looked that way.
Anna, like, seriously, like
you just look that way, right?
Yeah. So
Oh
we
my God.
definitely pump each other up in a good way. Always. I don't know. We play great together.
Nah, no doubt. Well, for me, I agree with you because I think good chemistry, good teams will always beat good players. Like you've been in the Pottstown Rumble where Baranek is there, Kalinsky's there, talented players, but the better team won, right? I remember, I think 2 years ago, right, Baranek and Bill finished second, and I think they get to the finals on talent alone, but I think to win, knowing your partner, and for me, not having to deal with your partner is always a big deal. Sometimes, your partner can take a lot of energy from you. Look, we played enough games in Central Park. Sometimes you feel like you're playing 3 against 1. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, 2-day tournament. Games of 15. Who was your biggest challenge, or your most difficult challenge at the Pottstown Rumble?
Well, I guess the pressure of how many teams are actually there, and when you show up at the tournament, and we have this like pre-opening tournament meeting where everybody kind of gets, so when you look at everybody and they all look fit, and it's like 140 people, 140 teams,
mm-hmm.
and you look at all the, gosh, you got to beat them all, and it's pressuring, that feeling, it's like 2 days of really hard work coming up, and you see all these fit people, so that's, I guess, the most challenging, and continue to having that thought during the tournament and not let you down just by putting that pressure mental on you. That's, I guess, the main challenge going through the tournament like that.
Right. So really, it's more about just playing one game at a time and taking care of your side of the net.
That's where Anna helped us a lot with her, experience competing on this, on the highest level, with the tournaments with a lot of teams, a lot of high-level players. She was just mentoring us, and
I just tried to help them because they were checking the bracket, checking who's playing whom, who they gonna face in what time of the tournament. And I just told them, guys, don't worry how many teams are going through, and don't worry who you're playing. So today, you have 6 games to 15.
Yeah.
And that's how you should think,
Yeah.
And then Eric and Andre told me after first game, oh my gosh, these help us a lot. Now we know we have 5 more to 15. And then after the other one, they said, okay, 4 more. So they start actually not being worried about who they're going to play, just focus on their game, because so many teams and you have to beat them all like 100%.
Yeah, that's so, Anna, that's so important. And I think you as an indoor coach too, I mean, we take that and you multiply that by 12 or whatever, however many people are on that roster, right? I mean, at least with Andre, it's only 2 people you got to worry about. It's like trying to manage all of those players. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I agree with you because look, you guys know Eugene, right? From the park, Eugene and I for like, Eugene and I for like 5 summers would just play grass every week and win every week. And for me, the most nerve-wracking match was the first one. Like we come into the tournament as the 1 seed, right? And we're playing a seed that nobody saw before, like some guys from Oklahoma or whatever, and this and that. Andre, I am scared to death. We're the top seed. That's the team in our pool is the last seed, and I'm like, I'm not even worried about the team that's the 2nd seed who I've already seen play, and I live in a video room. As far as watching video, I live in a video room like a hermit. So like teams I've already played, I was never scared of. But you're right. You watch these 2 guys. They got muscles in places they don't have that they don't have that I don't have places. I don't have a place for that muscle. So.
Well, Jason. Well, actually, I mean, it kind of became the same way to me, but it's always been a complete opposite way to me, and I'll explain. So it used to be I haven't been competing pro for quite some time already, like 2014 was my last professional career, let's say beach volleyball year.
Right.
And back then, it was completely opposite of what you're saying. If I see somebody I've never seen the face before, I would think, okay, that's going to be easy. You know?
Yeah, it's like it's like bait.
Yeah. Yeah. But now, since I've been off, you know, for so many years and not really following what's going on, then I see somebody and I don't really know. Now he's like after, when I've been, you know, off, maybe he's already not a top player. So it's like now it's like changed for me. It's like it's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know why it's the opposite. Well, to me, I think it's the opposite for me because the reason why I've had success, and this is going to sound stupid and self-serving, I'm usually smarter than almost everybody I go against. I'm not like you'll see two teams play each other, and the two teams play each other like 10 times, and they let their opponents do the exact same thing they did the match before that and the match before that and the match before that. I'm like, if you know he likes to wrist away online, wouldn't it be nice if you like showed him that and then crash it and then change up? It's crazy. So for me, I was more comfortable playing people I knew because I knew that they weren't going to see the same Jason unless I was just a better player. If I was just a better player, it's like you and Anna said, just take care of your side of the net, you know, because taking care of your side of the net is definitely going to help you beat the teams you're better than, you know. But as far as like trying to find ways to beat teams that are better than you, oh man. So let's have a little fun. Anna, let's start with you. What got you into volleyball?
Yeah, so my dad used to play volleyball, and when I was very young, he used to take me to some courts where he used to play, and there was like a concrete court in Belgrade in Serbia, then there was like a grass court, beach courts, wherever we would go, vacation, bring the ball, pepper with me. So his friend was a coach in a club, and when I was 9 years old, he asked a friend if I could join because all the girls were a little bit older than me, and then I joined the club and start playing.
That's how you got started? What position did you play?
Yeah, so I was outside hitter most of my career, and then by the end of my career, maybe last 5-6 years, I switched to opposite. Just because, I don't know, like in Europe, we play different than in US, than in college, so opposite is usually somebody who hits from each position, all-around player, like position 1, 6, or 2, like everywhere. So,
Well, in American volleyball, the higher the level you play, the more it's very much like Europe. Opposite is usually the best offensive player. I played in Darmstadt, Germany. I wanted to play opposite so badly, but they gave it to someone else who jumps a little higher and hits a little harder. You know, I'm also left-handed too. I just thought it'd just feel more natural. But I played outside hitter instead. So, but Anna, you're right. It usually goes to the best offensive player. So Anna, let's since I got you and I'm lucky enough to have both of you guys on the same episode. Let's talk about some of the work. Are you still at City College?
Yes, I am.
Let's talk about some of the work that you've been doing there. For everybody listening on the podcast, and as the head coach of the women's and men's team at City College, New York, at least one coach of the year at least once. I don't know if you won twice. So jealous. I was second. I was one vote away from winning one, but I knew Justin and Ray. I knew Justin and Ray weren't going to give it to me. They voted for each other, and Ray won, and Ray Bello won because that's how they roll. So what's some of one of the more important things you're doing at City College before the season starts?
If I don't manage to bring the players that I want, I'm trying to teach. You know, I teach them. You know, and it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah. But in 6 years, we were when I started, we were at the bottom, and now we were like last 2 years, we were at the top of the conference, and I'm very happy where the program is going.
Yeah.
It's been rough, but yeah, it paid off my hard work. Let's say like that.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you're in the middle of it, and when you're trying to rebuild this program, you say to yourself, "Man, I hope this works out in the end." 'Cause, it's supposed to, right? I'm putting this in or whatever, and this and that. So Anna, for me, when someone asked me about East Coast indoor and West Coast indoor, when I told them when I see a good West Coast team, it's talented players. When I see a good East Coast team, it's the coach. so Midwest and East Coast are really coach driven, and like the West Coast teams are usually star driven, and like some really good coaches putting in some really good work out there. Charlie Sullivan, right, Springfield University. I got you and Kevin Edwards, in the New York City system and the CUNY system. You guys are, no disrespect to anybody else, but you guys are the only two I can actually tolerate and like actually have a conversation with. I'm not sure. I think I've become more impatient in my old age, and I just don't. I just want to have a bright conversation with like real coaches. So, and. Yeah, and on the West Coast, there's this balance of good coaches versus glorified babysitters, So, and the club system, some people recruit the best players, and really a lot of those, and then they hire player coaches who are active players to coach them. And really their job is just to make sure the kids don't beat themselves, so.
Yeah.
Andrei, I pass the baton to you. How'd you start in volleyball? What got you into volleyball?
Well, my dad played a little bit of volleyball. He was actually trying to make me play when I was pretty young. When I was like in elementary school, and I didn't really like it. I remember he was taking me in a lot of different volleyball courts, different gyms. Played 6, played 4-on-4, tried. When I was a kid, I didn't really enjoy it. I don't know. I didn't really like it.
Right.
And I felt like I was a little bit pressured to do that. So I actually didn't start playing until I grabbed the ball myself and did something with it. And I was around 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
And that's when I really very fast fell in love with volleyball. And I just couldn't stop. All I wanted to do was just play.
Oh, you got infected. You got infected with the virus. The volley we call it the volley virus. There's no vaccine. There's no known cure. There's no cure for it. So I totally get that. Anna, I ask almost all of my volleyball guests this question, so I guess I'm going to ask you the same thing. Was there a particular tournament or a particular age in your volleyball life where you told yourself, I think I could be really, really good at this. I think I can do this on a reel. I think I could do this full time. The floor is yours.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Well, when I was really young, I was really bad, actually. So I think the girls were usually better, bigger, and stronger than me. And then in 1 year, when I was like 13, 14 years old, I actually went with my team on a Serbian, it was still Yugoslavia back then, like Yugoslavian National Championship. And we won nationals, and then I was pronounced the best attacker at that age, and then I didn't expect I'm going to be the best attacker, but I got the award, and then I started thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing, the winning, everything, and then I started watching the games through the satellites, like Italian leagues, Spanish league. I don't know, like all the best players, and it was my dream to become pro. You know, and then I was working really hard. I signed my first contract when I was 16.
Wow.
I played for national team of Serbia for 5 years. When I was 21, that was my first year that I went to Italy. And since then, I played in 10 different countries and signing different contracts. And whoever offers me more, I would just go there and play. Yeah.
Wow. Andrei, same question.
Yeah.
Was there a particular age, or was there a match or a tournament when you were coming up to play this game where you're like, wait, I could be really, really good at this?
Well, for me, it's kind of happens slower, I guess. I started playing for fun a lot everywhere, and I played maybe for a couple of years just for fun, going to different places. I played a lot of four on four. I grew up St. Petersburg. There was a park, it's called Sosnovka, and they had a couple courts where they played 4 on 4. And if you're talking about trash talking in Central Park, it was like a kid's trash talking compared to that place.
Yeah, it's a day in the park.
That place, they will make you cry. They'll, and it's like that was kind of like set the motivation for me up really high. I want to be good, because they talk so bad. I cannot do that. I cannot do that,
Yeah.
So I guess that was a good like a start for me, dreaming about getting better at volleyball, and then I played a little bit for my university. That was not very high level. It's not like in the U.S. or college Division I, like almost like a pro level teams. So in Russia, it's not exactly the same. The university doesn't mean that it's a strong,
Right.
strong league or strong teams. It doesn't work that way in Russia. So I played a couple of years for university, and then I was noticed by a couple of the coaches out of the pure accident, and they just asked me, "Oh, why didn't you try, go to the pro team?" And they invited me to play for. It used to be called Spartak, but it's actually the same team as the St. Petersburg right now. So I played for that team. I played for the second team first half of the season, and then they put me on the main team. So that was actually pretty high level, and for me it was like a learning curve was like skyrocket steep. It was crazy because when I came to the team, I didn't really know how to pass like a decent as an outside hitter. I didn't really have a skill to pass the ball, like frankly. So it was I learned how to pass like a pro jump serve like in literally like a couple months. We had a pretty good coach, and he put my platform where it's supposed to be, and that was cool. So and that's kind of decided for me to play for the main team once I started passing, because my hitting was already pretty good. Like my arm, pretty good. Just was lacking on the passing. Like I could ace on the high level already, but still couldn't pass. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
And I played.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Please.
and I played half the season for the main team. And then somehow I decided that I like beach volleyball better.
Yeah, well, you get more touches.
Yeah.
And as a juniors coach, I always tell my kids there's no bench on the beach. You know, for some of the girls who want to play more. I mean, of course, you guys are starters and you guys are rock stars, so you guys weren't getting benched or anything. But like, I always use it as an attraction, you know, for the parents. You know, so. But Andre, I think it's amazing that like you guys have this coming to Jesus moment about how good you can be. Because it was all about the mental thing. Andre, you have a really high emphasis on exercising the muscles between your ears, and it really shows in your game. I didn't watch the entire tournament, but I watched two and a half matches. I watched you play the Baumgrens, and then I watched the entire finals. And the all of those games were about moods, about momentum, about when to slow down the game, when to get the serve right away.
The velocity, the power that is.
And I think, sorry, I'm actually going to show the last point on my highlight, so bear with me on this one. You guys have the audio, so you won't be able to see this, but
Drew gets the kill. Side out.
I'm actually going
And
to
the man
show
with
this
the
at the same
hammer
time.
for an arm.
But you do
Belov,
a really
Andrei
good job,
Belov, the
and there's
Russian
only a handful
hammer.
of players I can say this about.
Back to serve.
And I'm putting up your serve on match point. You're serving jump serving position 1. Sorry you guys
The
can't see it, but stay with
velocity,
me.
the power that is Andrei Belov.
So yeah, you
Oh my Lanta,
it
ace
was
serve.
awesome. You took a little
Give it
something
up
off
for
of it.
Mother Russia.
You know,
Andrei
court.
Belov, Eric Lucas,
Believe it or not, Eric, before the last serve, well, actually before the last side out, I told Eric, okay, just let's do one side out, and I promise I got one more ace in me.
nice.
And it was we had 14, I think 13.
Yep,
Or I think we were
Yeah.
it's 14-13.
Yeah, and then I'm going to serve, and Eric's telling me like, can you just chop him to the angle, to the line, chop Mark to the line. I was like, sure, and I chopped him to the line.
Yeah, position 1. Hey, you know, big up to Fornicari too, man. I gotta look. I always knew he was a good player, but I have a new respect for him, like making it to the finals. He played with Albrecht, right? And
Yeah. Oh, he gave us a lot of headaches. Yeah.
yeah, I actually had to apologize to him like a month ago. He was at I was watching a tournament, and he really had a problem with like the refereeing, and he was so angry, like his speech was a little slurred. So when I was watching the video, I said, man, that guy's drunk. That guy's drinking. He had drinks before the game, and he like sent me a message and said, you know, oh man, you know, that wasn't, you know, that like, he says, attack me about volleyball, that's okay, but it's, you know, that's not right. I thought, you know, calling me drunk and all that stuff, and I was like, okay, he's right. He's right. Maybe I shouldn't, you know. But Anna, I guess this is a question for both of you, and it's again, I'm going back to the Pottstown Rumble as an example. Andre, you have a way of dictating how fast or slow you want the pace of the game to go. Is that something that you feel out organically as you go, or is that strategic, depending on who you go against?
Yeah, Jason, I would have to frustrate you, but a lot of things I do comes actually organically.
Right.
and even when it comes to, sometimes it comes to the serve, and when somebody asks me like, oh, like how do you serve there? How do you serve there? I was like, I don't know. It's like it's like sometimes just my arm decides what it wants to do.
Hey,
you know,
it works.
And I feel like that's maybe I just don't put really a lot of like analytical thought into how it happens. Like, but yeah, I don't think I have like a analytical type answer for you. You know how that happens, things like that.
No, I was actually, I figured, well, I narrowed it down to two choices. My dichotomy was that it was strategic, or you just have a feel for it. Like look, when you've been playing this game for a long time, like as long as you have, it seems like Anna's been playing out of the womb, right? You, like, for me, if I have a good jump serve, there are some plays I don't care where it goes. Like you know what I'm saying? You have a good finish, right? You have a nice little jump, you a nice follow through, you know, with your elbow back, elbow forward, or whatever. And I'm like, they're like, wow, man, he saw the opening, and I'm like, sure, sure I did. So.
Andrei always say, I have a bad habit to not serve to the person.
Well, it's like, it's a sarcastic, right, way to put it. Yeah. I guess that's one of the most important things, right? So serve away from the person, because it's kind of a lot of servers, a lot of people who serve, I think they have that. They don't think that they just think there's two players there. I gotta serve one of them, right? No, it's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, serve straight to them. See what happens, right? Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Right. You could serve 80 miles an hour, but if you serve straight to someone and you serve to space, me and John Mayer use the term serve to space. If that's not there, and if, you know, and timing wise, then you're risking a whole bunch of errors on a serve that wasn't that effective to begin with. So you hey, you got to get look, your serve's the one thing I've been talking about the entire tournament. I know you led the AVP for one season in aces per set, so that's something that's always been there for you. When I played in Europe, I had a pretty good serve too. I played one year, and I played for a CUNY program. I played at Hunter College. I played at Hunter College for like I was there for one semester. I was at Hunter for like a cup of coffee, and I was like 9th in the country in aces per set. So, and then back then they ranked Division 1, 2, and 3. So I definitely know the importance of serve. So, you guys are headed to AVCA right now. This for everybody listening to the audio. This is why these guys sound like they're talking to me from Europe. So you
Actually,
go ahead.
Play a tour kind of.
Where?
To AVCA, we touring the camper trailer. We're gonna stay in the camper.
Oh, cool. Yeah, man. Look, Pottstown Rumble, AVCA, Motherload, like all of those tournaments, having a camper is the best investment you can have, man. You spend all that money for a hotel, you might as well just have the camper. Like, I'm going to Atlantic City, right? In July. I'm going to stay at the Tropicana. It's gonna be expensive.
We're gonna be there too.
Yes. Cool. Who you playing with?
With Eric.
Oh, good. Yep. And are you gonna play, or are you gonna coach, or are you gonna? What are you doing? You're gonna be chilling.
I'll be playing. Actually, I'll be coaching first. I have two juniors that are under 14 under.
Mm-hmm.
So they qualified twice. They got a bid.
Okay.
I was coaching them for only a year on the beach. Two little girls, and I'll be coaching them through their tournament first, through the nationals, and then I'll be playing too, even though I'm 43, but I'm just trying to get back in shape.
Hey, listen, I always tell my friends I'm in rounds is a shape. I'm in shape. People, I'll tell my friend, don't tell me I'm not in shape. I'm round. Don't you see? Don't you see I'm in shape? So Anna, when you're coaching 14s, give me one important thing that before a tournament, when you're preparing for a tournament, what's the last thing that you would want to say to your 14s before they play?
Oh, well, they're kids, and then sometimes they just lose focus just because they're kids, but they're trained.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to remind them how big the tournament is, and we have chance to compete in these big tournaments, and just fight. They're trained. They work a lot. We work like every week, 2-3 times a week, and I know that many teams from California and Florida will be coming, and they spend all day at the beach every day. Girls here cannot do that, so we're trying as best as we can. So I think I'm just going to tell them to fight, and we don't have anything to lose.
I like that. Yeah. Well, for me, I coached at Endless Summer for 5 years. It's a program here in Hermosa Beach. I was with Duran Forbes, she's the founder of Beach Volleyball National Events, but she's also the program director at Endless Summer. And one of the things I like to do is I just tell my kids, go out there, be yourself, have a good time. You know, so this way, like some of the nervous energy, something else I tell my kids, if you have butterflies in your stomach, it only means you're ready. It's something we as coaches have to tell our kids what, you know, because a lot of kids, they have these feelings or these energies and their approach to the game where their enthusiasm works against them so much that they think it's not normal. You know, they think that they're the only one feeling that. And for me, I think for us as coaches, we constantly remind, like, especially at that age group, the other team's feeling it too. That's one. And two, it's natural.
It's natural, it's normal, and it's good.
Yes, it's good, man. I'd be worried. Look, I'd be worried about any of my players who weren't a little scared. You know, jeez.
If you're not nervous, then something is wrong, or you don't care enough.
Yeah. So you working with Andrei for the last tournament, what was for the finals? Do you remember anything important that you told him before the match started?
Oh, just the same thing. Like 1 game to 15. 1 game to 15, nothing else.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, I don't know. They didn't really show all the games on YouTube. It was basically they showed their game, second game of the playoff against Krekel and Martin, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't show actually the most drama game was the quarterfinal game against Dempler and Shane.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you know, it was 14-7 for Dempler and Shane.
Yep.
They were down so much, and it was like nerve-wracking game.
Jesus.
Yeah. So people were watching on the side, and I even heard some comments like it's over or something like that. And I looked at one girl and I said, it's not over.
No.
You know, I was very mad, and I said it's not over, and I was like yelling to them, just push, you know. But Andrei told me after the game, he told Eric to stick with him for 10 minutes and just side out, you know, every single time. I think they had like 20 match balls.
Right.
And that's what they did.
Well, I told Eric. Well, they were playing insanely good. The first part of the game, obviously, and when the score became like 13. I mean, there was one point. I'll tell you, Jason. It was crazy. I don't know if you didn't see the match.
I did.
Did you see the point where? So I think Eric hits off the block Dentler, and the ball like goes like sky off crazy to the neighboring court.
Yep, and he brings it back.
And Shane just run there like crazy, picks it up right next to him. Dempler is like following him, and then there's like during the play, Dempler says, "Do you want to hit it?" And Shane like, "Yes, I want to hit it." So he sets him back. Shane runs back, and he pretty much hits back to us from the sideline of the neighboring court.
Yeah,
and then they win that point. It's like it was something insane that they were playing.
It was. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then so at the end of the game, like when it's like not at the end, like before we started turning it around, like it was like 13-7, 14-7, and I'm just telling Eric, I don't know, for some reason I feel this confidence, I'm not done yet. We're not done yet, and I'm telling Eric, just stay with me, just side out a little longer, side out a few more times, and I promise they'll come down. That's what I told him. So and we just kept on siding out, and then there was 1 point, 2 point, and then it was like completely like I just like a bull got out of me like crazy, and I started acing, I started blocking everybody. It was like insane. I just felt that moment, like when we were so down. I don't know. I told Eric after the Pottstown, I told him, that's just because we're so strong together, you know. Like I cannot imagine anybody I would feel like I felt it was like we were 14-7 down, and I noticed to myself, like, I don't hate myself, you know. I'm okay, you know. I'm standing here on the court, and I don't hate myself. I can continue setting out, you know. And I guess that was the most important, you know, the mental strength and, you know, the confidence, determination, and the chemistry between me and Eric. That, you know, that we were able, how we were able to pull it back, you know.
No, that was instrumental because I did watch that game because Facebook Live had a live stream going. They had a 2-camera shot, and I think YouTube had like a 1-camera shot, like a side shot. But Facebook had the back shot and had like a roaming camera. I thought they did a really good job. I thought Dave Shaw was magnificent. That's a whole nother story, and I know I'm all over the place with my commentary, but Dave Shaw is like one of the best MCs I've ever met in my life. You know, you know, in New Orleans, he kept calling me Hater Jay. He said, "Here comes Hater Jay wearing his Yankee hat." So, I guess, well, first of all, you mentioned Dentler Donahue. I saw Andrew Dentler play in New Orleans, right? And I've known Andrew Dentler for 5 years. He was actually a coach at Endless Summer with me. At that time, it was me, him, it was Miles Evans, and later Oz Borges, and later on Jeff Samuels joined us, and Rob McLean. But Andrew, this is the best version of himself right now. I've never, in the 5 years I've known him, I have not seen a better version of him than what I'm seeing right now. He played with John Ferrari in New Orleans, and I think he's playing with Ferrari right now as we speak in in Wapaka and the beach tournament. So yeah, so it wasn't a surprise to see Dentler play so well. I haven't seen Donahue play that much. So I guess he's, you know, but we had a conversation about good chemistries. Andre, they're a good chemistry. You know? So,
Yeah.
Anna, question for you. You were trained under an old school virtue. You very, very, or what I call old school. Because a lot of the European coaches and a lot of the players that are coming up are very, it's not exactly a make nice way of coaching or learning the game. All right. So,
Yes, I agree.
And look, it's something a lot of people from this generation don't understand and don't comprehend, but the generation before them, and me, I'm 50, so I go 2 generations. So I basically came up through volleyball that way. For your coaching style, how much did you feel like you had to change at City College? And how much did you have to adjust for the players? It's so coaching style wise, I guess what I'm asking you, coaching style wise, did you have to, are there some things you had to tweak because of generational purposes, or you had a certain way of coaching and these kids had to get on board with it because that's what works?
Yeah, I think I changed just a little bit.
Okay.
My coaching style is the same. I just think that I'm more light as a person now. Like, I would be more tough. I'm still tough, but I definitely loosen up a little bit, like, personally, and especially in college, because I used to coach pro team before I came to U.S., women's pro team. Then I realized actually how much work they have during the day, like studying and all other activities. And, you know, in New York, most of the players are working and studying and playing the sport. So I actually learned how to give them a break, you know. Yeah, I think on that side I changed a little bit. But my coaching style is the same. I mean, it's very Eastern European. It's very lots of work, lots of ball control. I didn't change that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't change mine either. I was, I've been a CUNY guy for almost a decade. I was with Justin Stack, helping them rebuild Baruch. From like the 7th seed in the worst conference to like the Final Four. City College, I was actually there 10 years ago. I think I was the head coach there in 2008, 2007, 2008 for their men's team. And there were I had a lot of conversations with the athletic director about, like, if we just want to know what you're doing, And I just basically, they had trust in me. That I just told them, just like you told them, what I'm doing works, and they have to trust me. What I'm doing works, and a lot of times the students won't see it. A lot of times your own boss won't see it, but they gotta trust you. They gotta trust you. So, and I knew that about you. I was like, wait a second, her and Andrei, you guys are from the same cloth, if you will, cut from the same cloth. So,
at the end of the game, I want them to feel like joy of winning, and it's the best feeling ever. And I want them to graduate on time, and I want them to have a good life. And it's not only I'm teaching them volleyball, I'm teaching them life. I am teaching them what's going to face them when they get the job. If they're late to the practice or they're going to be late to their job, they might get fired. So it's like it's one big lesson for their life after they graduate and stop playing volleyball. So,
yeah. I also think you have to measure some of these kids as individuals. Like somewhere in the beginning, recruiting is hard for Division III because a lot of times these kids do have some of these kids are putting themselves through college in some respect, right? And they do have obligations where student becomes before the student athlete. Like you're not going to see a whole bunch of contracts to play overseas like after they graduate. You're going to see a couple because as a good coach, some kids are going to get better. Like Daniel Levant from Baruch, he ended up playing in Finland. And they're going to be some players that just want they lock in better, and and talent comes into play, of course. So but one of the biggest emphasis I've had especially at City College, was student before the student athlete. The Sophie Davis School of Medicine there, pre-med, is like top 15 in the country. This is important. So, and also not everybody thinks like us. Like a player has to ask themselves, Andrei and Anna, do I want this to be my 10-month out of my 12-month experience? Right? Because it doesn't just end when the season ends, and it doesn't just start when the preseason starts. There's off-season workouts, there's tournaments, there's non-traditional whatever. And for me, the earlier that a student athlete knows that they don't want this to be their collegiate experience, the more that you as a coach and them as a player could be more candid with each other about that conversation. Yeah. And it's crazy, right? We're on a podcast right now. We're not even talking about X's and O's. Right? We're not even talking about favorite style of offense or how to penetrate a good defense or dealing with setters that dump on two, just, running shotguns. We're talking about everything right now is from the neck up. And this is why I wanted to, it was originally Andrei, but I'm like, wait, I get to have Anna on the podcast too? What? I get one of those 2-for-1 specials. Yeah. And for the people listening to this, the audio and the video version of this, apologies ahead of time. We had some technical difficulties. Their time schedule is exceptionally valuable. So I was just trying to get them on, and the audio right now. Audio, this is so much better. I can hear you guys, and you guys are very, very articulate. Who are you playing with in Atlantic City?
Me or Anna?
Anna.
I'm playing. You don't know this girl. Her name is Alicia Young. She's a former Boise State University. She graduated 10 years ago and started playing beach a few years ago, but never like very serious in a tournament. So we just started playing at the beginning of this summer. Like we just had 4 tournaments together. She's a big blocker, 6'2". I'm a defender. So we're just trying. We both retired 10 years ago and didn't play since then. And yeah, we just want to get in a better shape. And I think we are a really good team. So we'll see how it's going. Yeah.
And Andrei, you said you're playing with Eric, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Good tournament. I was actually trying to find Rob McLean a partner because Rob McLean's going to be in Long Beach, Long Island at the time, and he's a hybrid, right? He can block front row or play full-time defense. He took some time away from it, to get his mental back. But I've been training with him once or twice a week. Coaching. Look, Andrei, occasionally I jump in, but we both know I'm not playing. my playing days are done. But I would love anyone looking for a partner for Rob, man, just hit him up, So
Jason, you're not going to Wapaka?
No, I actually just left Wisconsin. I was there for rest and relaxation, but I also trained 2 players who were playing in the beach tournament, and AAUs, not AAUs, but AVP Nexus here, and the BCVAs are here, and I'm still a juniors coach on privately, so I had to come back to coach juniors. But I will be in Atlantic City. In fact, guys, we should hook up before this because I'm not just flying in the 23rd. Like the 23rd is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm flying in Monday morning, the 19th, from JFK, and I'm going straight to Central Park. So Anna, like if your juniors team, if they want to get an hour and a half in, maybe some serve to space or whatever, we could do an early morning thing. I'm down. So,
Yeah, we're going to be there from 20th, from Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Are you going to be in Atlantic City though? I guess just training or okay. Yeah. Well, look, Monday and Tuesday I'm going to be in New York. Because I'm staying at the Tropicana Monday, but I'm actually driving back and forth to New York Monday and Tuesday, just because my friend Wendy Jones from the Optimist Journal, she's coming, and she's also going to play in a tournament, but she hasn't seen New York the way we have. So Tuesday is a field trip. But Wednesday I'd love to come through if you guys need an assistant. I'm also bringing a bunch of Wilsons with me too. I'm bringing like 10 or 15 Wilsons. Yeah. So we were talking about coaching styles.
Yeah.
What your City College, your team was 15-4 before the pandemic. I thought that was one of their best seasons. Certainly one of the best seasons I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Who were some of your stronger players and at what position?
I had Julio Miftari. He was my opposite. He used to play for youth Albanian national team, and he was our best. He was actually NCAA best scorer, best in aces, and best in points. And we as a team were second time in a row best in aces in NCAA.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Championship tournament. You guys played Baruch. Yeah, I'm really first of all, I'm really glad someone like you is in the CUNY conference because we desperately, like CUNY has forced to hire like players who are fresh out of college to coach, and they're not real coaches. Please, CUNY coaches listening to me, please don't take this personally. I'm not trying to say something bad. I'm not trying to say that they don't know the game. I'm not trying to say that they don't know the X's and O's, like the logistics and how to play the game. I'm talking about what we were talking about this entire podcast, Anna. We're talking about conquering demons from the neck up, not from the neck down. And between you and me, well, not between you and me because we're on the air, but I don't think a player who jumps into coaching is going to hurt someone's game. They're just levels to how much they can help. Do they help this much a little bit? Do they help that much a lot bit? You know, and I'm gonna give you the floor in a minute, but I really, really like that someone like you is in the CUNY system, and I really, really like that someone like Kevin Edwards is in the CUNY system. Kevin brings a bevy of experience as an international player as well, and he's really, really worked hard at this whole coaching thing. So I just wanted to get that out there. So,
Thank you.
So you guys play each other twice a year. How do you guys? You and Kev? Are you and Kevin's team turning into a rival?
Yes. Yeah, it was a very, very drama that year that we finished actually second in the conference, the regular part of the season, and then we played Baruch in the semifinal, and we got a bye. And it was a real drama game between us. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just want to see some of the scores. Yeah, that is wow. That's crazy. Like all of the scores, only game 4 was close. Like every other score was like skewed to the left or to the right.
Yeah. We had some bad calls. There is actually a referee. I would say he doesn't really like me.
Oh, jeez. Is it Russell? Is it Russell?
No.
Okay.
I don't really know his name. He's also Albanian guy.
Mm-hmm.
He calls screening.
Come on.
In the most deciding point.
I think it was like 13-12 or something.
Yeah.
They were coming back. They were down like 13-10 or something in the third. So they played.
Yeah.
It was crazy, Jason. I remember that point. It was like the whole crowd was like, "What the hell is going on?" It was crazy. It was the worst call I ever seen in my life.
Oh
like,
no!
Completely
But
from
screening. Do you know how? But do you know? Can you appreciate how rare that call is in indoor volleyball? Can you guys appreciate how rare? Look, most of the time the ref won't call it. Most of the time the ref will call the captain. The ref will call the captain up and say, "Hey, listen, that guy's got to move."
Yes.
You know, I don't want to take a point. You know, or that's just God. You didn't get it. Did you get a yellow card? Did you lose your mind? Did you lose your mind?
I did lose my mind. The second ref was Russell, I think, and I called Russell and I said he cannot do this, and he's like, I cannot. He was like, I cannot change his decision. Mm-hmm. After the game, international referee Danny.
Yeah.
He was the line, and he approached me after the game and he said, "Listen, I'm refing Olympic games, and I would never call that on that score ever, or I would maybe warn the players, but I would never call it, you know." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." And there was no screening at all because I watched the game after. So,
is there any? Listen, it pisses you off because there's nothing that you hate more than a referee. As a player and as a coach, there's nothing you hate more than a referee making it about himself. When I talk to Russell and I, we don't always agree on everything, but the one thing we agree on, Russell says, if nobody knows I'm up there, I'm doing my job.
They don't understand how much work we put in there and how much these players deserve a fair play and so much work.
And gets decided.
One guy's going to decide something for them. No, just let them decide. They're on the court, not you.
Yeah.
So it's
I've reffed a bunch of games, and I've seen some teams out. I've actually seen some teams out of rotation, and sometimes I'll just call the captain. I'll be like, "Hey, you got to overlap. I don't want to take the point, but if you stay that way, I'm gonna call it." you know.
Yeah.
So and
don't get me wrong. I really think referees have a really hard job. I think it's a really hard job. But we are all human beings, and we make mistakes, and it's totally normal to change decisions. I mean, I played pro 17 years on the highest FIVB level, and I don't know how many times it happened to us that the referees are changing decisions because they made a mistake, you know, and it's normal, you know. It's a really hard job, you know.
No, look, I can forgive mistakes. All right. Look, referees make mistakes. You said it. You said it best, and I agree. Players make mistakes all the time. Coaches, we make them more. We make more mistakes than we care to admit. Okay. But what I don't. And I can forgive mistakes. I can even forgive ignorance. Like someone didn't know any better, and they kind of let me know something. I'm like, okay, cool. I actually get that. Hey, I just learned something, you know?
Yeah.
But what I can't forgive is willful ignorance. I can't forgive, like, I'll give you an example. I'm playing an urban game, like New York Urban, and I'm front row. So I put a hand up. It's a tight set, so I put a hand up to set. It's a 50-50 ball, so it's the blocker's right to touch the ball too, right? So the referee thinks I'm back row. So he blows the whistle because both of us contacted at the same time. And the ref thinks he has to call one or two things, right? He has to call blocker, set interference by the blocker, or back row attack. So he calls back row attack on me, but I go to the ref, I tell him I'm front row. So what he does is he says, I reached over the net and out-dueled the blocker and brought the ball back on my side. Now to me, that's not admitting that you got it wrong. Just say just say you're sorry. Just say you're sorry.
Yeah.
Call a replay. You know? Just say you're sorry, dude. So that's the one thing I have a hard time forgiving with certain refs. You know?
Yeah.
So I had Adam Johnson on the podcast yesterday, and we were talking about bizarre yellow cards or bizarre red cards. Andrei, let's start with you. What was the most mind-boggling yellow card or red card you remember getting?
Jason, I don't think I got too many yellow cards. For some reason, I was always kind of shallow, or I don't know.
Shy.
I didn't really get in my career ever get to fight with the referees for some reason too much. I don't know.
And where are you from again, Andrei?
I like to concentrate those negative feelings and put it into the game.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it works pretty good for me. I'm a very emotional player, but I don't really show much of emotion. And I try to, put it into my game. To make emotions work for me, like during the plays, rather than yelling and talking to somebody,
Nah, of course. Well, me. Look, my degree in college is theater performance. So if you see me having a conversation with a ref that looks dramatic, a lot of it is not rehearsed, but a lot of it is theater to motivate like my team. There was one time I got a yellow card from a ref, and I walked up to the down ref, and I told him, and I was wagging my finger at him and pointing my finger at him. But if you listen to the conversation, what I was saying to the ref, Andrei, was, I'm going to point my finger at you. So this way my team looks like I'm standing up for them. And it's going to, from a distance. So the whole time I'm pointing my finger and I'm talking with my hands and I'm waving my hands. And I said the whole time from a distance, it looks like I'm waving my hands and I'm upset at you, but I'm not. And these are the exact words coming out of my mouth. I'm not upset at you, but I want for theater purposes, I'm going to point my finger at you so it looks to my team like I'm standing up for them. And it's crazy because if you saw me from a distance, they're like, oh my God, he's giving the ref an earful. And he's Anna, your turn. Bizarre yellow card.
Oh, I got yellow and red at the same point. Not as a coach, but I got it as a player. So I played European Cup. This year I played for team in Vienna, and we were playing Top Teams Cup in Croatia. It was against Romanian team, Croatian team, Cyprus, and us. And only first team goes to the next round. And then we were winning, like we beat all the teams. And the last match we were playing against Cyprus, and Cyprus had like a very, very like weak team, and I told my it's 10 sets, you know. Yeah, and so she would give me very tight sets, and I would usually after the hit and the ball touched the floor, I would go under the net, you know, sometimes. Which wasn't really like good because there are blockers on the other side and somebody could get hurt, you know.
Yes.
And I would each time I would apologize, you know, I would land on their side and I would apologize to them that I'm landing there and that my setter is setting me tight, you know. And then it was 24-15 in the third game, and same tight set, last point in the game, and I hit the ball, I landed down, and I apologized to the players again.
Aww.
And then there was a girl on the other team, excuse me for language, she said bullshit, you know. And then I said, what did you say? and I this is like the only time in my life that I went on the other side of the net, and I raised the net up, I get on the other side, and I'm like, what did you say? And then the referee gave me yellow and red, and that was actually the last point of the game, and we won the game.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. No.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, because nobody ever like call you names or really curse on you, or you know, I mean, players are usually very professional, you know, and if you apologize, everything is fine, you know.
No, of course.
Yeah, but when she said the word, I was going nuts. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Look, for coaching, I never got a red, even though I deserved a bunch of reds. Like Hifu gave me a yellow on one of my when I at a Baruch game. You guys know Hifu, right? Chinese guy. So
Yeah.
he gives me a yellow, and I'm like, may I ask why? And he says misconduct. And I said, misconduct. And I said, dude, why don't you draw a joker on that card and put it in your back pocket? I said, that's misconduct. I said, that's what misconduct is. And I'm like, go ahead. I said, go ahead and give me a red. Go ahead and give me a red. See what happens. And the whole time he wouldn't give me the red. You know, it was just like, and that's probably why I think you didn't get a red card as a coach. Nobody wants, Anna, nobody wants you thinking about them when the match is over. It's like, wait, let me just get a yellow so we can respect each other, and then at the end we could go about our business. But here's a bizarre yellow card, right? We're playing Stevens Tech or something, Baruch College, and there's a guy that's taking an incredibly long amount of time to serve. Now, for everybody listening on the audio and the video, thank you for joining us. Indoor volleyball, okay, beach guys. Indoor volleyball, you have 8 seconds to serve, right? This dude is like dribbling the ball 100 times, right? And then, of course, after he dribbles the ball, he holds the ball in front of him, right? So as he's holding the ball in front of him, he's just staring at the ball. And then finally, after a long stare, he gets his high toss and he gets his jump serve, and now we're playing. So I started whispering. When the ref blew the whistle to serve, I would whisper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the next, they won the point, and then the next play, the crowd behind me started doing it. Like whispering, 1, 2, and then the referee gave my entire team a yellow card, like an entire warning, and I was just like, so basically, I'm getting a yellow for you guys not doing your job. I mean, it was. I just wish. Look, I was a young coach back then. I wish I kept my mouth shut a little bit more, you know, because sometimes you have to measure your players, Anna, right? Like when you're playing doubles, let's say you're playing doubles and then there's some chat across the net, or you disagree with a referee's call. You have to consider your partner. And Andrei, this is important for you too, right? Do you have your partner that has your back, where that actually sparks them up a little bit, or do you have a partner that's going to get ace the next play. You know, and that's something we have to think about as coaches and players and this and that. So no yellow cards for you, huh, Andre?
I'm pretty sure I got at least a couple. I mean, but I really, to be honest, I don't really memorize too much.
Yeah.
I always kind of like I didn't really hate on the referee for some reason when I was playing. You know.
What do you?
And
Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe I played with the partners who took that role more than me. You know.
No doubt. Actually, you guys are playing. You're playing with Zach this weekend, right? Threes.
Yeah.
Actually, I have some video. I'm going to put up some video of Zach playing with Bameso at Riverbank State Park. So, Zach is, for everybody watching this video, Zach is number 12, and he's setting. Riverbank State Park, for everybody listening, is this place where, like Andre, we were talking about being mentally tough and like working on your mental game. Like I came to Riverbank. The first time I came to Riverbank, I had already played professionally in Europe for 2 years. But as far as like being mentally tough, Monday and Wednesday night, people listening to the audio version of this, Monday and Wednesday night, it was free. It was 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and it was fours. And everybody in the place was from Dominican Republic. Nobody spoke. Not a lot of people. Only a handful of people spoke English. And Andre and Anna, you'll both appreciate this. If you couldn't take care of first contact, they didn't care if you were tall. You didn't play. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you go bump the ball against the wall like 100 times or do something, something like that. And it's that old school virtue where they don't line a whole bunch of kids up against the wall and, oh, you're tall, you'll play this. You want to be an outside hitter, but no, just play libero. Outside hitter's never going to happen, and this and that. And it's actually where I got my mental toughness from. I'm this guy who's half black, half white. My Spanish is okay. I'm kind of new, so I got a lot of respect for people. And Zach, that's where I met Zach, Andre. Zach was 14 years old when I met him. He was a student at JFK High School, and his eyes were as wide as tennis balls every time he saw volleyball. And in many ways, it's still wide. So who's your third?
Who's your third?
It's Oren. I forgot his name. Zindrov.
Okay. Ryan?
Oren.
Oh, Oren.
Oren. He played pro also in Israel. He was a libero indoor.
Mm-hmm.
And he started playing beach a few years ago. And then they have Ryan McGilley also on the team as a fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right. So, Andre?
Justin, I'm just trying to find the gas station here because I'm about to run out of gas.
It's all right. Well, I don't want you to run out of battery either, man. So we can actually wrap up. I'd like to do this again. And if you guys are ever in California, we'll definitely do it in studio. But we left a lot on the table. But I think let's because you guys are going to your tournament right now, and by the way, thank you guys. So it's honor, duty, and privilege to have you guys on the podcast. For Anna, it's a long time coming. For Andre, I would say it's about time. But before we go, is there anywhere like they want to know more about City College Volleyball or know more about Anna? Is there a particular site you guys want to plug in?
Jason, I want to say something more about the Pottstown tournament and why their win was so great and amazing. So Andrei's last win was 2012 when he won Pottstown, and he retired 2014. And Eric was playing here and there, but last March 2020 he had brain surgery and he had a brain tumor. So little over a year ago, he told me, Anna, I couldn't do one push-up a year ago after the surgery. and it was his biggest dream to win Pottstown because he was in a 4 finals before that, and he finished second every single time. And his dad was in the 5 finals, and he finished second for 5 times.
Wow.
On top of everything, also Andrei had some blood pressure issues, so he's on a blood pressure pills. So they're both kind of like, it was a rough year for them. So after each game they would win, I would just tell to Eric's father, I'm so proud of them, And I think we were so emotional after they won it was amazing. It was like a miracle,
So there was, wow. So there was a journey that you guys took that was a lot bigger than the sport of volleyball. That everybody from the outside looking in, that includes me. I'm way from the outside looking in, Anna. I'm from California, for Christ's sakes. That it's a story that I'm glad you guys shared with me, and it's a story that everybody can appreciate, because I will tell you this: everybody cheers for Eric Lucas. Andrei Belov, you are beloved, and on your worst day you are respected, and on your best day you're of course loved. What blood pressure med are you? You on Norvasc? What are you taking? Avapro?
Well, I don't remember off the head or something. We trying different ones.
Yeah, I'm nosy. I worked in a medical field for 17 years.
To be honest, well, so far I don't think we really found the one that works best, because I don't think that they make any changes to me. It's like it's genetics for me. My dad has the same thing. So my blood pressure is just elevated. I'm like totally healthy. I did my complete body, the physical examination. Everything is my blood. Everything is everything good, but just the blood pressure is elevated for some reason.
His normal one is 165 with 115.
Good Lord.
We're still. The doctors start trying to find the medication's gonna work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you Andrei, do you have a lot of garlic in your life?
Oh yeah, I eat a lot of garlic.
Good, because that helps that helps lower blood pressure. Me, look, I first of all, I've already given up on good pizza. All right, I'm in California, but I find a pizza joint, I have to bring my garlic with me. They don't. It's like I ask a pizza joint out here if they have garlic powder, and they look at me like I asked them if if they deliver wine. I'm like, no, I just want garlic, But so, garlic powder helps lower your blood pressure. It's also so put it on any food you can. Okay, your body will thank you for it. Yeah. Cool. So guys, before we go, Andrei, is there a particular? Do you have an Instagram handle that you can plug before you get out of here?
I do have an Instagram, but I haven't been opening it since probably 10 years ago.
Right.
I don't know. I don't really use Instagram.
And Anna, to reach out to you, is it just ccnyathletics.com?
Or we have also Instagram account CCNY Volleyball.
Very good. Good. Freaking European couples, man. Y'all are so private. My email is none of your business. So, guys, I will, Andrei, now that I got your number, you live in Connecticut, I guess, right? I will definitely reach out to you before Atlantic City, because I'm actually coming out early. I'm not one of those guys that are flying in and flying out. So, and we're going to wrap up now, but for everybody listening to the podcast, for everybody at home, everyone on their iPads, their iPhones, their droids, it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on the show. And please, I look forward to having you guys come back, some form of video version. And of course, you guys come to California, we'll make this happen live, okay?
Thanks,
Cool.
Jason. We really enjoyed.
Cool, Jason. Thanks for talking to you.
All right. Okay, for everybody at home, for Andrei Belov and for Anna, his bodyguard, his hit woman for hire, so long. Love you to pieces, okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Come check out the Option Podcast on OptionVB.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.